大家好，欢迎来到 Bluerider ART 台北敦化这次的个展乔瑟普里耶拉伊阿拉贡生命航线半世纪的未知探索2026年的个展。Hi, I'm now in Bluerider ART Taipei Dunhua, and this is the second solo exhibition after 2023 for Josep Riera Aragó. I have few questions for Aragó. From the visual symbols documenting daily life in the 1970s to the exploration of machinery and the deep sea in the 1980s, what inner calling or defining moment led you to shift from recording life to voyaging between sky and sea? Do you remember that turning point?
Indeed, my first steps in the art world documented everyday life. My first gallery exhibition in 1973 showcases images of surroundings, my city, and the themes that resonated in Spanish society at that time, such as the yearning for freedom after 40 years of repressive dictatorship. But in the late 1970s, I realized that I needed to develop my inner world, to turn my gaze inward, not outward, and at the same time find my own language to express myself. Therefore, I developed a whole series of symbols based on what I saw and what surrounded me, which eventually formed my own alphabet. From then on, with a more personal language, my interest in machines and exploration, in a broad sense, began to manifest itself. I explored two realms that I consider and still consider fascinating: the sea and the cosmos. This led me to build the machines that allowed me to dream of the exploration, machines like submarines and airplanes. I don't think it was a precise moment or an illumination. Rather, it was the fact that I kept changing the function of the same shape, the shape of an eye, which in my alphabet represented the human head, turning it into a submarine, a zeppelin, or the propellers of an airplane.
Airplanes, propellers, submarines, both. These mechanical icons have accompanied you for over half a century. Are they memories of childhood, vessels, or dreams, or philosophical metaphors? After 50 years of dialogue, has your relationship with these symbols evolved over time?
They are all that you say and more. As a child, I built boats with scraps of wood I found, and I made contraptions fly with makeshift propellers. Of course, they were vehicles of my dreams, but I also believe that the dream of discovery, of going beyond what we know, is inherent in humankind, and they can certainly be philosophical metaphors for our aspirations.
You contrast the hardness of bronze and steel with the softness of wood and fabric. How does this assembly of mixed materials unfold in your creative process? Does form come first, or are you moved first by a piece of rusted metal or an old fabric? In what ways do materials speak to you?
Throughout my career, I've always had a predilection for materials that already possesses a history, whose past has left its mark on their appearance. This has allowed me to initiate a dialogue with the material, which contributes its own history to the work. I like the idea of recycling some of these materials for a new function, and in the case of all materials with history inscribed in their appearance, they work to my advantage in the development of the piece. The combination of these materials with new ones, sometimes purely industrials, ends up generating a very interesting symbiosis. Furthermore, each material has specific characteristics: hardness, malleability, softness, expressiveness, and I try to make the most of each of these characteristics and use them to achieve the final result I envision for the work.
You have said that the ultimate core of this 50-year voyage lies in human emotion. In today's era, increasingly dominated by machinery and AI, how do you continue to infuse warmth into cold mechanical forms? How do you see the relationship between the mechanical and the soul?
Yes, I have said that what moves us and sometimes touches us deeply is emotion. For me, the machines I make are instruments for expressing ideas or feelings. Airplanes are open figures expanding and vibrating in the air, sometimes like icons of modernity, sometimes moving and creating rhythms unknown to me. Submarines close in on themselves, isolating themselves from their surroundings to survive, as I sometimes have to do. And boats, for me, are symbols of serenity and harmony, elements for navigating the waters of dreams. If all these instruments have a soul, perfect, I, at least, try to imbue them with one. Just these past few days, as we commemorated in Barcelona the centenary of the death of the architect Antoni Gaudí, the creator of the Sagrada Familia, a phrase of his which I wholeheartedly endorse has resonated powerfully. First love, then technique.
Voyage is the most central image in your work, both a physical movement and inner pursuit. Over half a century of practice, has the direction of your voyage ever shifted? How does the unknown you sail toward today differ from the unknown of your youth?
In fact, life is a journey, and for me, my dedication to art has been a beautiful and sometimes difficult journey, like life itself, and I hope it lasts for many years. In youth, you throw yourself into the void with irrational impulses. The search is full of energy, of successes and failures, sometimes as important or even more so than the successes. The metaphor of a river to mark the stage of life can serve us perfectly. It begins with a small trickle of water that needs to reach the surface. It feeds on other small trickles of water and flows powerfully down the mountains with surges and leaps. When it reaches the valleys, it calms down and begins to lose force but gain volume. Then meanders forms, and calmly carrying all that it has accumulated, it approaches the sea. Now I continue pursuing the same goals between what you intuit and what you imagine, but with a different perspective, the one that experience and the years provide.
What do you hope viewers will carry away when they visit the exhibition? What do you most wish them to see or to feel?
In fact, I don't expect anything. I simply showcase what I've created, thanks to the excellent work of galleries like Bluerider, and what I continue to create with honesty and hard work. The miracle happens when someone is interested in my work and enters the world of image and poetry that I've developed over the years. And in a small but crucial way, they connect with the work and emotions rise. A kind of communion then occurs between the work and the viewer, which is very gratifying for me and confirms that we are not just groping in the dark.
And thank you, Riera, for this beautiful exhibition with us. I hope a success and wish to see you soon.